Hello, welcome back to the podcast. This is what I'm working on. It's Pomni. I don't know what to do. Okay. So, I have several thoughts. And I will let you know about all of them. And look at this. It's Kinger's wife. Oh my god.
You look beautiful, honey.
Got it! Time. In the fast food episode, the clock not working seemed particularly significant to me because it's like, you know, like it's the like, obviously the stupid sauce was kind of like a bigger thing, but for me it was the time that, like, the clock not working that kind of like made me clock like, oh shit, like we have no idea when everything is, but like they really have no idea when everything is, you know, like, not that there isn't like a timeline, but
I know you won't believe this, but I don't understand.
in the sense of like day to day, my sense of time is just so off that I didn't notice that their sense of time is off because of Kane. So that's when I clocked it. I looked at the clock and I clocked it. Work. Anyways. And then also because of, you know, hi, Pomni. Am I your type now? You like Australians. You know, like day and night happening at the same time. Like, do they sleep? Yes, but as far as we know, the nighttime is not significantly visually different. Like, time is the same all of the time. Like, in you know, like in Antarctica, where they're like, oh, well, I mean, you know, is it sunny? Yeah, for 6 months, and then it's dark for 6 months. Well, you know, that doesn't help. But, you know. Alright, let's...
I just say...
What? Not my little egg boys. They do my evil bidding for me.
Do you want to stay?
Hello. So, first section. I looked up the... Okay, so with Kane, him going blue when he has an error message is very interesting because that's what Microsoft used to do before it went to a black screen, which is like, well, that's not cunty. Like, that's not interesting. Like, where is the intrigue? Like, interest me. Like, give me... So, in IT, this means that the software or the hardware has, like, a fatal error. So, like, it has to be fucking fixed. Like, it's a big problem. So with Kane, this does happen a lot when he's blushing, which is interesting because the blue screen of death could mean overheating. So this is from Reddit from 5 years ago. So, you know, take it with, you know, several grains of salt, but the closest thing that I could find to the unbootable boot volume when I paused Kane and like zoomed into his eyeballs was that it could be an unhospitable boot volume, which is caused by a boot corruption file, which is like like, this is really bad. Okay, so like, you know, like there's like, say this is the timeline, you know, and then this is episode 1, and then there's like some days, and then there's episode 2, you know, and so on. So like, obviously they're after each other, but I don't think they're like right after each other. Like, I don't think it was like supposed to be the day after in the context of the show. Like, I would say, oh yeah, maybe in between every episode is like a week, you know, because that seems like an amount of time where like it would make sense for, you know, but I mean, like, maybe it's not like a specific amount. Okay, so we also don't know how long the days are. Like, we don't know that a day in the digital circus equals a day in real life. You know, like, it could be like some fucked up time shit where it's like, oh, like 17 years is like 2 minutes, so they're like, you know, I don't know, they would be able to escape, but if they were able to escape, are their bodies still fine, or are they digital copies of people? Like, I feel like maybe abstracting is how they get out, though. Like when they abstract, it's like the computer has all of the data that it needs so that Kane can make more adventures. But it could mean that they're just fucking dying. Like, fuck if I know. But, so, Kane probably doesn't have any idea of how days or time works. So, you know, like the time is probably shorter than regular days because, I mean, like, it's kind of a video game, like, what they're going through, so it would make sense that their days are shorter than, like, 24-hour days. Okay, so, Wikipedia. I looked up a Chinese room, and it's basically the idea that a human... Okay, let me start over. A computer can't be human no matter how human it appears. Is basically that Kane can impersonate having feelings, but he cannot truly feel them in the way that humans can. In kind of like just like general like computer terms. However, we don't know that just because it's referencing it doesn't mean that that's necessarily like canonically the case in the digital circus, that Kane is, you know, like, I think that he has feelings, and I think that's what makes him dangerous. Like, I think that's why they should be afraid. Okay, so the plot. This is where I am gonna cut it.
When we do all this, Kane's gonna pop out and say, "Congratulations on beating the Escape the Circus adventure," and everything's gonna go back to the way it always was.
The hot dog is representative of Scratch being the first abstraction, obviously, because Scratch is a dog, and a hot dog is... Well, it's not a dog, but it's technically a dog. Okay. So, what is a hot dog made out of? The bun, you know, the dog, the ketchup, and the mustard. Okay, so the ketchup could represent them having to stay in the circus, like deciding to stay in the circus, or like rather like Jack's deciding for them. But then the mustard is probably also significant because that's the other like standout color in Pomni's color scheme is yellow. So it could be because, you know, Scratch is kind of yellow, and then the hot dog is cause dog, but I guess that's like, what does the bun mean then? Like, the bun means that Scratch was hiding something because the dog is inside of the bun and the bun is a secret. So the flashbacks of them being watched by the NPC was absolutely fucking weird, bro. It did make sense that that would mean something because of how much time gets taken up by it. So it's like, if it didn't, like, of course it would mean something, you know. I'm getting worked up. I need to remember to breathe. Probably. That's, you know, I gotta breathe. Kaufmo. Before, I know we didn't see Kane before Kaufmo died, but excuse me. That's probably why Kane isn't funny, is because of Kaufmo not being funny and him taking over, like, you know, like Kaufmo's attributes when he died. But Kane only being able to remix things is mad frightening, because it's like, okay, so this adventure was based on Kinger, obviously, and that's what made it feel real to them. However, I think the haunted house one was also about Kinger, because, you know, like, because he felt like it was his fault that his wife died, even though, like, it wasn't, you know, like, but I guess that begs the question, like, what other things in the haunted house were, like, not just a metaphor and, like, specifically related to, you know, like, who knows, like, it could be anything, really. Like, there's no limit to what it could be and what it is and everything. Like, that's wild. Like, I'm even, you know, like, I okay. So Kane's eyes, when they zoomed in on Kane's eyes, it looks like the abstraction shit that Jack sees later because of Kane trying to make him abstract.
This is the most phantasmical moment of my—
Bubble. Going from fucking beach party to freaking beach party is kind of like Kane is starting to get a little bit of control over the circus, which, you know, kind of means like it's gonna fall apart more, which is like, damn, like, I am just like, like, I'm just like, I'm too excited, I can't wait, like, I can't, bro, like, when they were hyping it up, I got a little worried. Like, I was like, is this gonna get hate because, like, they hyped it up too much and they didn't, like, reach it? But it reached it. Like, it made it all the way, bro. It made it all the way. Okay. So is Jax referencing the audience out of his free will, or is that like Kane taking over him? Since they can be controlled, how much free will do they have? Like, if everything, like, philosophically, if everything that they do, it isn't controlled by them, then, you know, like, technically they don't have free will in a philosophical sense, but they could still make some of their own choices, which begs the question, which choices have they made, and which choices has Kane made for them, and how much can he control them? Is the reason of the fights on all the adventures because of Jax? Like, in part, or wholly due to Kane doing just what he wanted to do? And then, when Jax pressed the button, of course it was, like, partially Kane, but he also hesitated because he doesn't know if there's anybody waiting for him on the outside, so he wasn't, like, in a hurry, but then also Kane was giving him flashbacks, so it's like, did he run over, Gangle? Like, does Gangle remind him of those flashbacks, and is that why he hates Gangle in particular? And then, with his room, it's, like, the opposite of how he shows himself on the outside. Like, obviously, you know, with Pomni, she's afraid of being, like, childish, and then, you know, like, with Zubul, like, fuck, dude, like, that is the worst room you could give a transgender, like, just...
Coward!
Like, god damn, bro. I would not last a day in that room. You would not see my ass up in that room. Hell nah. I'm gonna be out there with Kane, bro. I can't. And then, cause it was like there were mirrors everywhere, bro. Like, everywhere in the room. Like, that's, oh my god. Like, god. Like, next abstraction. I feel like it won't be Jax because that's too obvious. Like, so, if it's Kinger, all of the like, Kane would get mad better. But if it's Jax, like, what if that just makes Kane a dick? Like, or is Jax being a dick because he was, like, on the verge of abstraction? And then with the captions, bro, I don't know if this is still, but when I watched it, it was a thing with the captions where it says NPC instead of Abel, like, before it's revealed. So it was like, shit, dude. Okay, so obviously, like, Kinger equals Abel, but you know, like, with Ragatha, so because Ragatha came after Kinger's wife's death, like, what if she's kind of a reincarnation of Queenie? Because, you know, Pomni looks kind of like two people that, you know, that Jax was, like, down with back in the day, you know? And, I mean, you know, obviously, the princess from the Candy Adventure is, you know, Queenie, but is it, like, parts of them, or, like, the whole, like, completely, you know? I think it could be both. I mean, with the hallway, it didn't make, like, it made sense that it would have been a hoax because of the hallway, because, like, obviously that's a red flag, but, because we see them in the hallway all the time, so it's like, I feel like they probably would have noticed, like, there's no way that they couldn't have known, you know? And then with the glitch being perfectly executed every time, like, back in the day, Animal Jam is a piece of shit now, obviously, but back in my day, the Animal role-playing game, there used to be like all of these glitches, you know, like, and trying to make a glitch work, even if you know that it could work, doesn't work perfectly every time. Like, also, with Kane, would he know that Kinger would be the one to probably pick up on it, so everybody, but not if he, like, rushed everybody fast enough? Did they have a choice? Like, if they couldn't, like, I looked up Shrimp Town on Urban Dictionary, and that gave me nothing, but could they have gotten out? Yes or no? Like, I feel like, obviously, they couldn't have, but at the same time, like, could they have? Like, could they have? Like, could they have? I don't know. I am just, like, amused and bewildered. But even if you wanted to, probably, like, can't let them out because of the concept of the real world being incomprehensible to him, like The Office. like bro's trying to make a version of the Macroverse. Like, he has no idea and no understanding of it. This is going to be the beginning. This is going to be the end. So, Kinger being the first one makes sense because of how his design is so much, like, simpler. And then it's kind of, you know, like, and then Queenie, Scratch, probably. Ragatha. Ragatha is kind of, you know, like, because Ragatha is Raggedy Ann there used to be, like, a Raggedy Andy, like, someone that Ragatha would go on adventures, not necessarily with the sense of the character. Is Kinger like Raggedy Andy, like, you know, like her bestie, like her diehard, or, you know, like, is that Pomni? Wait, okay, actually, Pomni makes more sense with that. Okay, moving on. So, because Jax is based on the 20s or the 30s style, and Raggedy Ann was popular during that time, are they from the same time? You know, so maybe, like, Ragatha and then Jax, you know? And then, also, you know, like, mice were more popular than bunnies in the 20s and 30s animation. I just had to put that out there. Okay, so Kaufmo and Ribbit. Is Pomni Kaufmo? Pomni could be, like, both Coffee and Ribbit, which I think I touched on earlier, but, you know, obviously a jester is not a clown, but, you know, they are similar. Okay, so with Kane's office, when we see in Kane's real office, it isn't nearly as fucking sick as the fake office. Low-key, I hope he keeps that one instead, because, like, it's so lit, dude. Like, reminds me of the last man from Loki a little bit. Okay, so Jax and Pomni not holding hands was, like, because everybody else holding hands is like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, you know, whatever. I don't ship them. I want better for my girl. Her and Jax could be great friends, but I don't want them to kiss. No kissing Jax. Be a good Pomni. Okay. So it feels like Jax more so represents, like, God damn, like, bro will reject her over and over again. Like, will it be the same when it's real? It'll never leave us. Ah, they're so cute. I love it. I love that game. Okay. The instructions were obviously too clear, and it wouldn't have made sense for it to not be in, like, actual code or, like, a fake code language, if not, like, a real one, like an imitation of one. You know, like the red and the blue, like Pomni being the one to hesitate with her outfit, both red and blue, begs the question, did she save them from the worst fate when coming back to their real bodies after all this time? Be, like, more of an adjustment that it could make with, like, are their bodies functional? Like, is it gonna be like Max from Stranger Things, where it's like she's in a wheelchair, like, for now, but, like, she could probably get better? Or is it like they're, like, they can't do anything? And if they can't move, then they probably can't escape, you know? So they would probably just get, like, plugged back in, or maybe, like, they would die on the way out, or, like, are they literally people in the sense that they have bodies inside of the machine, or are they just based on real people, like leftover brains where they can't exist outside of the circus, so they would just, like, you know, as soon as they get out, like, is that how it is, or is that not how it is? And if it is how it is, then, like, is it? Okay, so this is as far as I made it so far. Look at this. It's beautiful. Bum, bum, bum. Goodbye.
Drink water! It's been a while since I've done that.